and I'm going to make you the presenter.
Okay.
You just have to click on the button there.
Show my screen.
There you go.
Okay, dokie. Can everybody see my screen? Tell Patrick if you can. I
Yep.
don't see the chat box, so
Yep.
okay.
This man speaks and it happens, Ivan says.
Okay. Let's start
We're going
with
to make the screen as big as possible, Bryant.
full screen it is.
Okay, and then everybody else on your side, click the buttons on webinar to make your screen as big as it can be as well, okay? All right, let's rock and roll. Let me just preface this by saying this is the previously known Authority Stacks. Nevin is the creator and builder. Nevin had a previous partner within Authority Stacks who is no longer a partner. This product is now owned entirely by Gary and myself with Nevin's support. So if you do go and search out Authority Stacks, you will see a website that is called authoritystacks.com. Please do not buy anything there. The buttons are no longer active. That is not a site that we control. It is a site that was controlled by Nevin's previous partner. Therefore, we are going to be changing the name and coming up with a new whole presentation logo, and that will be done shortly. But we're thankful that you all are here, and we're going to try to simplify this and show you how easy it is and what Bryant has been able to do just from the webinar that Nevin did so graciously for us about a week ago. So with that, I will let you take over.
Okay, super. Can everybody hear me okay? Patrick, you were fading again there at the end. Looking for feedback.
Give us a 1 if you can hear Bryant.
Please. And actually, can you see my screen is what I want to know. I've got open a text document, Notepad++. Can everybody see that?
Can see it, yes. So go ahead.
Okay. This is basically, I wanted to go over spin tax real quick for anybody that may or may not be familiar with it, because that seemed to be something that was a little bit confusing when Nevin was doing his presentation here recently. So just to keep it as simple as possible, spin tax just means you're going to give whatever program you're running an option of different values, such as go, and then a bar separates that from the next one, stop, and then a curly bracket closes it. So that's two options in that group of values, go and stop. So the program that's interpreting whatever you're giving it to create something will pick one or the other and insert it into whatever other string it's working with. So that's what we're going to be looking at here. If you can see this, I've got some values in here. These are going to be values that I use for anchor text and some other things within the Authority Stacker HTML editor to generate my articles. Now, what I've done is I've also got my meta tag set up here and some other things. These are for a different project, so we're going to be doing these a little bit of changes here as we build out this project. We're going to build a project for GPS stuffed toys. This is the website. This is a small public company that's a client of mine, and these are just released literally this week and just in time for Christmas. So that's the one we're going to be building today. And
Hey, Bryant.
yeah,
Do you have an affiliate program for that if anybody wants to make some money trying to sell that?
you know what? I do. And not only that, I'm going to help you get started right away if you want to with it, because now's the time. We'll do that in a little while. Anyway, so I've got my meta and some other old tag set up here in this template. And then this part of the template is actually what builds my articles. Okay. So what this does is it pulls in my video, and you can spin multiple videos. Okay. We're also going to insert some images that I've prepared, and they're going to be the toys, actually. And we'll also go over how to build a site for a national campaign with multiple keywords. That's what we're going to do this morning. And then we can also address a question that was in the Skype group yesterday, which was if I have multiple keywords that I want to create articles for multiple zip codes, how do I do that? Okay, we're going to go over a very easy way to do that. And basically all that amounts to is mashing everything up and giving it directly to the article builder. So with that being said, does everybody understand what I have gone over so far? I'll explain this real quickly here. This is an insert shortcode in the HTML editor, and what it does is it pulls a random sentence out of this text file that I created using perfect content. Okay, here's my perfect content, and the way that I run perfect content strictly for this, okay, I'm not going to address any of the advanced features for perfect content here, is I'll give it a broad keyword and just some proxies. This I ignore, although you can use it. I don't know how, quite honestly, and I'm not going to. I do not spin anything to run this particular type of campaign. At this point, all you do is start the campaign with your keyword, let it find some keywords. We're not going to go all the way through this because I've already done it, okay, for this presentation. I let it use all the keywords. You click start or click OK. It starts up, pulling articles, okay? All it's doing is using those keywords to build articles. I'm going to stop and bail out of here because I'm going to show you what I've already created so that you understand what we're talking about. This is the normal output from that type of a run with perfect content, and it generates a folder that has sentences in it, and it has the sentences, individual sentences for each article. As you can see, there's a file called 000-all that has all of the sentences from all of these articles in one file. That's what we're going to be using. Okay, now I have put that all together into another text document, which is also called alt text, and I've got about 4,000 sentences here that I'm going to use this morning. Now, normally I would use a lot more than that, but we're not going to build that many articles for this demonstration. So these are just all the sentences, and it's doing some word wrap, but oh, actually, let's see what it's doing. I got it. Yeah, okay. Take my word for it. They're okay. They just don't look good in that particular box. Okay.
Okay, let's just make sure everybody's clear with what we're doing here.
Okay.
Everybody okay?
Any questions so far? Yes, let's take any questions we might have at this point.
So you don't really care about odd characters at all?
No, I don't.
Okay. Ivan's cool. Regina's cool. Okay, good to go.
Good to go? All right, we're going to shut this down and fire up our magic program. Where did I put it? Where did he put it? Oh, there it is. Sorry.
And just getting back while he's loading this up to the perfect content with what Bryant just did, can be done with the special basic program that we have available through the Ranking Factory members, which is $8.99 a month. You don't need all the whistles and bells to do what we just did here. So if that's really all you need it for, it's very inexpensive. You don't, like I said, you don't need all of the variations and the foreign language spinners and all the other things that we've added to the pro version. So this would work very, very seamlessly and cool with what we're doing right here.
Okay, can everybody see this okay with the, I've got authority stacks up, which by the way, we're thinking about calling MOFO traffic. We'll see about that. So this is just, I just installed it a couple days ago. It's going to pull up an existing project that you're going to see. We're not going to deal with the indexer here at all today, okay? All we're going to deal with is the site generation, okay? So what we've done is I put everything in one folder. I combined all of my sentences into one file, and I put it in this folder called GPS Toys. I've also got another folder in here with some images in it that we're going to insert. And so we're going to use sentences and images, and that's all we need to build a project. We're going to need an output folder as well. We'll create that. In fact, we'll go ahead and create that right now. Create a new folder on my desktop. We'll call it GPS output. And we're done. So now we're going to select the input folder. And as you recall, that input folder is this one up here called GPS Toys. It has the sentences and the images in it. That's all we need. It's on my desktop. So we select GPS Toys. And we're good. We're going to select our output file that we just created. That's where everything is going to go when we run the program. Okay. Now, does anybody need me to address templates at this point in time? We can do that if you need it.
Yes.
Yes? Okay. There is a file. Actually, there's a couple of them that Nevin put into the group the other day, and one of them is a bunch of templates. Okay. And it's in template.
By the way, those
pack.
templates are all available to everybody as well when we do this.
You'll need an extractor that will extract RAR files to get them, but that shouldn't be any big deal. You can find that online for free. And what you do is you pick one, and you kind of have to experiment with, see what you want. And we're going to open it with Zip Genius. We'll go ahead and extract this one so you can see how we do this. Extract to the desktop. Okay. So now we just extracted this HTML5 Upstellar folder from the template pack that's available in the group. Okay. So we're going to go in there. We're going to look in here. There's the template file right there. Okay. That is the file that you would select. Now I'm going to navigate, and I use Modern Business because I like how it looks, but we'll go through how to do what we just did, and that is to just go into the folder that we just extracted, drill down, and pick the template file. Okay. That's going to be the wrapper, if you will, for the sites that you're going to build, the pages that you're going to build in the site. I'm going to use the one that I like, which is Modern Business. And we'll show that to you after we build select the template, open it. Now I've got Modern Business template. Okay.
So Brian, someone's asking, how can we preview all the templates to see which one we want to pick?
You can open them up in your, just by double clicking, open them up in Firefox or Chrome and take a look.
Okay.
If you want to take a look at it. So I didn't. For me, it was easier to run a small project with a couple of different templates to find one that I liked because I wanted to see it with my images and videos and stuff in it.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
it only takes, and actually we're going to go through that process too. Just we're going to run I always do a test run where I don't set up the redirect and I just output it directly to the desktop. Don't upload it to any of the cloud sites. So then way I can go in and look and see what I've created before I actually put it into what I call production. Okay, so we run a test, a couple of them till we get it tuned up the way we want it to look, and then run the production run where we actually do the upload and the redirect. Because once you do the upload and the redirect, you're not going to be able to see what you did. Okay, let me clarify something. What you're building here is a gateway to a money site. Okay, or at least that's what we're doing here today. Let me clarify that. You can build sites as well that you can upload and use as, real blogs or in whatever kind of site you want. But what we're doing is we're building a gateway, a traffic funnel, if you will, through to a money site. And the money site's going to be that one I showed you a minute ago with those little animals on it. Okay. So first thing we have to do is name this thing. So this is going to be, think of this as your domain name. If you were going and shopping for a domain for this particular run website, think of it as a full, complete website, what would be the domain name that you want? Okay. And also remember that if you're uploading to, I know this is true for S3, the site name has to be unique across S3. Okay. So you may have to do, when you try to upload it, you may come across a duplicate, have to add some characters or a word or a number or something like that to make it unique. So don't be surprised when that happens. So we're going to call this one GPS Stuffed Toy Animals. And we'll fix my typo. Anybody that sees me miss a typo this morning, please let me know because I do a lot of them.
I'd like to, but I can't even see my type small.
Oh, is it really?
But it's not your fault. It's just my computer.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Someone's asking, what's S3? Is that a new suitcase?
Amazon S3 is cloud storage, and it's one of the different places where you can upload sites automatically through this program. It's a high domain authority site tool, repository, hosting, and consider it hosting, okay? And it's not free, but it almost is. I have had a lot of stuff in my S3 buckets for several years now, and I can't remember ever having to pay anything for it. I'm not using it enough yet. So hopefully I will with this, but we'll see. But it's cheaper than GoDaddy, I'll tell you that for sure. Okay, so now we're going to come up with a title for this thing, and this is going to become the title of each of your web pages, okay, that are created. So we're going to put in, new. No, we're not going to do that because this is going to go forever. Call it the same thing, GPS Stuffed Toy Animals. And what we're going to do here, instead of saying stuffed, we're going to insert a list of keywords, which is the one thing that I haven't done. So now you get to see me do this. I didn't upload my keywords yet. How you get your keywords is up to you. We're only working with about 120 today. And we're not going to find that there. We're going to find that over here. And
how are you making your list? Is it by line? Is it by comma? Is it by short code? What's a short code?
okay, hang on. Okay,
determining all that?
Let's do first your first question, please. What was your first question, Patrick? Again, please.
How do you define your keywords, and how are you setting them up to put into this area right here?
Okay.
Comma, separated.
No, just they're on separate lines. Oh, here I'll show you the file that we're using right now. I'll open it here in Notepad.
Okay, thank you.
So these are the key.
Everything is on a separate line. Okay, great.
Yeah, everything's on a separate line. Normally, if this was something people were going to be seeing, I would capitalize each of these for the titles. But all we're going to do for our titles is we're going to create our own shortcode. Okay. This is something that's one of the most powerful features of this software, as far as I'm concerned, and that is we created a file, a text file. Okay. I'm just going to copy the name of it because of my typo problem. And here, instead of stuffed, we're not even going to do that. We're just going to use. Let's just use the keyword for simplicity's sake. Okay. Add.txt. Close that curly bracket. Now, it's going to pull in the first keyword that I've got in there and build a page for it. Okay.
So stop.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm stopped.
So what you've done is you've taken a regular Notepad++ or TXT file, regular, Notepad.
Mm-hmm.
You've listed all of your keywords.
Right.
No geo modifiers unless you wanted them. But you've listed all your keywords. You save that file as abc.txt. That's your
correct.
file name.
That's correct.
So we are able to, according to what I hear you say, create on the fly our own short codes.
Yes.
That will, in reference to this portion in the title of the pages that we're making, will go in based on that syntax that you just put together, curly bracket, and the name of the file and curly bracket. When we're building these mass pages, we'll go in and it'll build a page based on line 1. Then it'll build a page based on line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5, all the way down to as many keywords as you have in that list. And we're able to do that on the fly, which I don't think anybody else could do, but we're able to do that on the fly by putting that in here. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. Sorry, I don't know why I keep fading in and out. I apologize.
Okay. Is everybody clear on that?
Yes.
Okay. So now here's what we're going to do. Listen, another thing about the software is you have to use key combinations to copy and paste. Okay. So I'm copying this short code that I just made with these keywords in it, and I'm going to make another file. I'm sorry, I'm not going to make another file. We'll do that later. But what I am going to do is here in my template that I'm going to use in the HTML editor for my article, I'm going to insert those keywords again. Okay? So all I've done is copied that short code. I'm going to insert it there. I'm going to insert it everywhere I use it in here. And I've got a couple of other headings down here for SEO purposes. And they're going to insert the exact same string, keyword string, if you will.
You missed one.
I did.
Mm-hmm. Somewhere up there.
Well, you know what? If I did, that's not a bad thing, and you'll see why, if I did in fact miss one.
Actually, Steven is saying, why don't you just use find and replace?
Well, you certainly can do that. That's not a problem.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
I mean, you
Can
can.
we get a copy of this file?
Yes, that's going to be one of the things I'm going to hand out when we're all done, and it will have all of the meta tags and all the data that we actually put in to the.
Cool.
It'll have the finished project. Okay. And this is especially useful for those of you that will be joining the affiliate program later on today. Okay, so I've made those changes. I'm going to copy my HTML template. Oh, come on. A little slow here this morning. There we go.
Control A. Well, then you got too much shit up top.
I got other stuff up there because I use this for all my stuff. You'll see as we go along. Okay, so we're going to come over here to the HTML editor. We're kind of jumping ahead of ourselves here. And now we're going to do a Control A. Delete what's there. Control V and insert this template. Okay, and there it is. Nice and simple. Except I made a mistake. Okay, does anybody know what mistake I made? Here's your clue right here. That's not short codes. It's actual HTML code, and it's not going to work in the edit mode. Okay, you got to insert this stuff in HTML mode. See how it's kind of messed everything up? It just doesn't look right. It's got line breaks, paragraphs between everything. So we're going to redo it. We're going to select it all again. This is a great part of what we're doing here. This isn't a webinar. This is a class or an experiment, depending on how you want to look at it. We're going to copy it over here with HTML, not the editor portion. So there we go. Now it looks like it does in my Notepad file. You come back
What
over.
are you using to do that? Someone's asking.
What am I using to do? What?
HTML editor. Where did you find that? Where did you
Oh,
pull that out of the sky?
no. Okay, hold on. We'll go back into it right now.
Because you're ahead of yourself.
Okay. I'm actually not, but if it appears so, then we're going to fix that.
Okay.
This is the HTML editor in Authority Stacks or MOFO traffic, as it will soon be known.
There you go.
Okay, so I click HTML editor down here. It opens it up in a new window. Okay.
There you go.
And in this window, you've got all of these different goodies. Okay. This is the magic one here. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to insert those images. And let's see. Let's just put them kind of up top here. So, get a clean line. I'm going to click on short code insert. Now, we're going to check imagine image insert. Okay, got my tongue going there. And it's going to ask for a folder name. Okay, there's only one folder that has images in it that's in our input directory. Okay. Does everybody remember we put the input directory over there?
Yes.
Anybody need to look at it, show it again? Okay.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay.
Doesn't hurt.
We'll just stop altogether. And we'll go back here to our input directory, which is GPS toys. Okay. And I've uploaded a folder with images of the toys. Okay. Now, normally I would have optimized these images prior to doing this. And I'll show you real quickly how you can manually do that. And that is you go into properties for the image. You go into details. You can add a description, title, subject. Oh, well, let's just do one. Which one have we got here? We got the unicorn. So this is a GPS toy unicorn stuffed pink plush animal. Okay. So that's just basically a little description. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy that real quick. And I'm going to put it in the subject. I'm going to put it in the tags. Okay, I'm going to put it in comments. You can do a lot more than I'm doing here. I'm just running through this real quick for you guys so you see how to optimize these things if you don't have software that'll do it for you. I think Patrick's got something.
Yeah, we do.
Anyway, let's see. Let's do copyright.
Joe says you made another typo somewhere. You said to check your typing if you wanted.
Okay, is it in here?
Where's it at, Joe?
That RN doesn't look right, probably unicorn.
Stuffer.
Oh, stuff ed, huh?
Should be stuff ed.
Yes, it should be stuff ed. Okay, so I'm not gonna mess with it now. I'm just showing you guys how to do this. And then the other thing is, once you do your first apply, then you come back and you can give it a 5-star rating too. How's that for sweet? Okay. A lot of you probably already know how to do that, but it's cool.
Some don't. As long as one person does it, it's worthwhile.
That's right. Okay. So,
Okay.
So we've got these images optimized to your liking, if you wish, in this folder. And when we go in our HTML editor, and we're going to insert images using a shortcode, click the little special button right there, select insert image. Next, if there were multiple folders within the GPS toys folder up here, you'd have a drop down to select which folder you wanted the images from. Okay. Alt text. This uses spin text, like we went over. Let's see if we've got something handy that we can just paste in there. I think I may.
What is it?
Pardon me?
Is this short codes?
Yeah, it's okay. I don't have anything over there to use. This is going to insert a short code for you, okay? And then it's going to randomly select an image out of that folder each time it produces an article or a web page. Okay. Let's just start calling them web pages. We're generating web pages is what we're doing. And they are all linked together to make a website. So alt text, we'll just do something real quick. GPS. Okay, GPS toy. A bar. Okay, typo.
So when you're done with this, I have a question.
GPS stuffed animal. And let's see, GPS unicorn, bear, dog. Okay, so that's going to become the alt text for the image, and it's going to pick one of the 3 different values there that I've given it and insert it. The other thing that's good to slow down or to minimize the footprint, okay, is to spin also image sizes. So we're going to go, we've got a 700 wide. Let's do a 600 wide, a 500 wide, and a 400 wide, and close. Okay.
And you can put in hundreds of different variations in there. It doesn't matter.
Yes, you can. As many as you want to do, however diverse you want to make it, no problem. And now we're going to do the height as well. So let's go with, we're starting with 700, and we'll go with 300, 375, 350, and that's enough. I'm tired of typing. I only use 3 different heights. So if you multiply this number times this number times this number times this number times I don't know how many times, you get a whole bunch of different variations. So that's why you use multiple spin codes whenever you can. So now we click finish, and see it's inserted the short code there. Does everybody see that? This is what it's inserted. And it's random.
Within that text file or that HTML file, in that position of the file will be a random image every single time.
Right. One of those 5 images will be in each article. Now, Here's another little trick, okay? Actually, it doesn't work with this one, so we'll do that trick later. But it's
Let me just stop you real quick here. A little off topic, but kind of the same thing. Scott, is asking within the spin text for the short codes, okay?
mm-hmm.
Can he put in like the word great wine box, okay, and then short code winebrand.txt, comma winebrand.txt or winebrand.txt, and assuming it's going to pick up different brands? My answer to that would be the winebrand.txt for brand one should be winebrand1.txt, short code pipe winebrand2.txt and winebrand3.txt. You can't use the same file. You got to call it different files, right, Bryant?
Yes, you do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and what you just described works fine. It's called nested spin tags.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it according to what Nevin has told me, or what I heard on the webinar, it does work fine. So our template is complete. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about the template for the HTML, the page structure?
Hang on a second. If you're using geo-targeting for those photos, will they match the location of the text that is spun also, or does it need something different? Or does it matter?
The geo-targeting comes in a different area why you would want to geo-target the images in that file, I'm not sure, but I don't understand the question, I guess is what I'm saying. I'm sorry, I don't understand the geo-targeting of an image itself.
No, you'd actually geo-target the image. You wouldn't put it in you don't need to put it in the shortcode. Just do it in the metadata.
That's
of
true.
The image.
Well, yeah, in the optimization data that I just showed would be the place to do that. But you would obviously, well, you could do multiple geos if you wanted to, but otherwise you need multiple images with different
So let's
names.
say, for example, Bryant, we want to add 3 more locations in this HTML file where an image would show up. How would you copy, cut, and paste and put the image in a different section of this HTML file?
You can copy and paste this over and someplace else. Okay. We put another image down. We can put another image down here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the way that the indexing works with a lot of these short codes, it may replicate the image. I don't know. Okay, because the way that let me explain the way that this software matches up information in the when you're spinning. Well, actually, let's don't do that right now. We'll do that in a separate one.
Yeah, that's fine.
But for giggles, just for giggles, we'll leave this in and we'll see if it does pick up the same image. I suspect it'll repeat the same image. Okay, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
So, were there any other questions about this template that I've put together here?
Nope. They're just asking more questions about the geo image matching the geo of the text. That's all. Which can be done by line situation that
Yeah.
Nevin shared.
Yeah, you can do that. But
okay, we're all good. Move on.
All right, we'll move on. So when you're done with this, you just close it out and it opens this window back up. Okay. So now our meta content, I've put together the meta content that I want over here. Okay. So that I don't have to take your time and mind trying to put it together. We're going to have to make one change, you see? We'll do that when we get over there. So Metadata, we're going to Control all, delete what's there, and just insert what we just made, or what we just did. Now, if you notice, this is an old short code that I had for one of my first projects. So I'm going to insert this short code that we use for our keywords, and we're going to insert that here. So that is repeated in the metadata. Yeah, the title becomes part of the metadata. So now that pretty much covers everything on this initial screen. Are there any questions about anything on this particular first screen before we move on to the structure?
Is that one for one?
Yeah, actually, let's go over that real quick. Here's the way this works, and that is that the way that the software picks an iteration of something in these short code files is it will take the first one and it'll apply it all over the entire build for this particular page. Okay, so you're going to see the same keyword any place that I've put this text, this short code in the HTML, and any place else that I use it later as well, if I do use it later, and I don't remember if I do or not at this point. So that's why when you're doing the way Nevin demonstrated doing geolocations like city, state, and tech and zip, then you use 3 separate files for that, the way Nevin demonstrated it, and he gives us the files. Okay, they're in a download called job. That's this one over here. Okay, and he gives us each one of the. He gave us each one of the states with city, state, state short and long, and zip file. So these are going to be in. They're tied to each file. Each line has an entry, the same number of entries for each city or each zip, so they match each other across. So the first one is the same city, state, and zip, iteration 1, then it goes to iteration 2, iteration 3, iteration 4, and just rotates through each of those short codes if you're doing geo targeting. We'll do that later with this. We'll take this campaign that we're doing now, and we'll come back later and we'll geo target it. Okay, so that that it's a little more clear. So I'm going to move on now to the structure.
So go ahead and answer this question while you move on for Jim. The number of pages is limited to the number of keywords in your short code text file.
Correct.
Move on.
Okay. Tags. Now, we all think of tags from the standpoint of tags on posts in WordPress. A similar thing, okay, except these become linkable, as I recall. Let's see, I hope I got some tags, because I'm going to need some. Hope I made some tags. Did I make some tags? No, I got tags for you. I don't have tags for that. So, let's make some quick tags. Let's see, what did we have over here? Oh, I did that. That was in the optimization. So let's just do some quick ones.
So in this case, what you could do is create a TXT file with the tags and then bring that and create a new shortcode, correct?
Yeah, you could. So in fact, tell you what, let's have some fun.
Probably be the easiest thing to do.
Let's have some fun. Let's use our keywords as tags.
Is there a limit to the number of tags?
Not to my knowledge.
Nevin, is there a limit to the number of tags?
Okay. Now, we will set the number.
No, there is no.
Okay.
There is no limit? Okay,
No,
cool.
there is no limit. You can limit it below. You have the box, how many tags per post.
Yeah.
But it can be like
some crazy
number.
Yeah. So for each one of the Of
Cool, thanks.
the pages that we're going to generate, we're going to use 3 tags in this instance. You can set that to whatever you want.
But you can have 500 tags. It's going to pull 3.
Right, you could have 1,000,000 and you're only going to pull 3. I mean, there's a
Cool.
I mean, I think there's kind of a practical number or limit, you know. So this then we go to interlinking. We're going to enable interlinking, and this is the anchor text that we're going to use spun for the previous link and the next link that we're linking to from this page. We're going to, okay, I stopped.
Explain a little bit more, assuming that there's someone here who doesn't know what interlinking is.
Okay.
And the value of it.
Okay. Interlinking means that each page is going to link to some other pages within the website. There are internal links to another page in this website. So, for example, if you've got let's do a practical example that everybody will be familiar with. If you have a blog, a WordPress blog, and you only have 4 pages, you've got an index page, you've got a privacy page, a terms of service page, and a contact us page. You only got 4 pages on that. Well, if you interlink those pages, then the index page is going to link to your contact, your terms of service, and your privacy policy. Your privacy policy is going to link to your index page, your contact page, and your terms of service page. That's interlinking, okay? Now, we're going to be generating, in some cases, thousands of pages here. We want the search engines to be able to crawl from one page to another, any other, as long as it crawls to another one, so that all of the pages eventually lead all the way through the entire site and back to the home page, okay? So, and the home page is not the next one, but we also are going to enable random post interlinking, which means it's not going to go next, last, next, previous, previous, next, last, previous, next. It's going to have 3 links to other web pages that aren't necessarily next or previous, okay? So, and they're going to be selected randomly, and we've got a little spin tags in here so we've got different anchor text, like, you know, more from this category, see also, more info, additional info. All of this stuff is all going to be in the template that I give you. And we're going to pull another 3 of those as well, okay?
And this is something that makes this very, very unique and highly indexable. Mark is saying that there's a typo in the dialog box, interlinking versus interlinking, something, yeah.
What,
there needs to be an interlinking, I guess.
I see
interlinking versus interlink or something like that. Anyway, minor situation, but we're
okay.
just letting you know.
That's software change, isn't it? Not mine. Okay.
Yeah. Something for Nevin to take a look at.
Sorry, Nevin. Okay. Anyway, and if you use categories, I don't use categories, but you can. All right. And what I would suggest is you experiment with it locally so you can see what it does and see if you want to use it. I'm not using it at this point. I'm just keeping it simple so that I'm able to generate these things fast and lots of them.
But the concept is the same.
The concept is the same.
TXT category file, create a short code, pop it in, and you're done.
I suppose.
I'm sure you can.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. It says short. It says It says example keyword in shortcode dot text. So we could insert our. We could make a category for each one of our keywords if we wanted to, but at this point we're not going to.
GPS tracking, autism, GPS tracking.
Yeah.
You know, Alzheimer's, whatever, for this particular project, right? So those could be categories.
Those could be categories as well as keywords. Yes. Okay. The other thing is we're going to enable the silo structure. Okay. What the silo structure does is it puts a link on every page that links back to the home page, separate from your next and previous and your random post links, your interlinking structure here. This is just a simple link at the top of the page that says, yeah, let's rock and roll. Go back.
Random post title spelled wrong as well. Keep going.
Okay. Okay, the markup section, this is for schema. Okay.
Hey, Brian,
Yeah,
sorry, just a second. If you can go back to the structure
certainly. Okay.
and just one adding. If you want to use tags and you want to have 3 different tags for each of the posts, you will need to use like in example, like spin tags plus the short code.
Oh, okay, so I would have to do,
Yeah, and if you want to have 3 tags, you need to have 3 different words in spin tags.
so I use 3 of these. Is that what you're saying?
No, 3 of these. You need to add 3 more words in spin. Like in example, just read the example, you will figure it out.
Yeah, okay, what if I do this, Nevin?
Well, it will just use the same keyword 3 times in the title of the tag.
Okay, that's what I was wondering about. Okay, well, let's just do this then. We will spin GPS toy and GPS stuffed animal.
Cool, thanks.
Okay. And we need to get rid of that. And we're going to need another one of those as well. We'll just use 2. Okay, let's not mess with it. I think everybody gets the gist of what we're doing there. And we need to get rid of that one as well. Okay, thank you, Nevin, for pointing that out to me as well.
And while you're there, Nevin,
No
the next question here is the home page different from the other pages in structure or look?
No, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Are they? I didn't notice
No.
it.
Are they different or the same?
Oh,
the home page is
I'm sorry.
like index page.
Okay. Actually, I apologize, Nevin. It is different. I remember now what it looks like. Okay. Well, and we'll show it to you. Okay. I'm not going to go over the schema, but I did use it, and it works perfectly well. And I used, if you see here, I used a short code that had Florida city, state, and zips in it, and they line up just perfectly. And I use that to generate schema just fine. But we're not going to use that now. We're not going to rotate for this run. We're going to do this as a test. Okay, so I've turned off my rotator, and I'm going to deploy it, and we're going to deploy this locally and take a look and see, how we did. How does it look?
Okay. While you're doing that, let's just kind of go back.
Okay.
For most of the pages that we're making, schema is extremely important. It's not something that you want to bypass. It's not something that you don't want to do. It really brings a powerful aspect to the pages that are being made, and we never, ever, ever, ever want to skip it.
I will agree with that 100%. 100%. But I'm skipping it.
In light of what we're doing here.
Well, when I'm doing a national campaign, I don't use schema, although you certainly can. There are certain types of schema that you can use for it, but I don't. But I would call it almost mandatory if you're doing any kind of location based, which we'll do later. We'll come back and do a location based with this, and we'll do schema at that point. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, because there's a bunch of questions on schema now that we've skipped it. So
yeah, I should have known better. It's okay, but I'm trying to go through the whole software. So we're on deploy. Remember, we're going to do it locally. We're not going to redirect because we want to take a look at our work. We want to take a look at what we've created here. So we click on deploy, click on start. We're going to add the project, and we're going to select dummy uploader. Okay. So that's going to create it locally so we can take a look at it. Click next and then start. And it's that quick, although we're not generating a whole lot of pages here yet. We will, though. And our output is right here. And it is GPS stuffed toy animals. I don't need to do that. I need to do this. And these are all of the pages that were generated.
Just
okay?
now.
Just now. Exactly. One of the things I want to point out, and this came as a nice surprise. Actually, we can't see it in this particular look, but there's an XML file down here at the bottom. And
hit Control End.
Control End?
Mm-hmm. Control End key. Take you to the very last line.
Yeah, it does, but it's not displaying the XML file for some reason.
Oh, okay.
In this dialog
If
box.
you are thinking about the sitemap, it's generated only if you are uploading to the Amazon.
Oh, it only does it when you, okay, when you're going to do an upload. Okay, that's cool. So let's take a look at the index. Everybody, well, let's just take a look at any old one of these things to begin with and see what we think. Okay. So this is there's my video. This is the content. There's our image. More content. You can vary this content. I mean, you can use as much or as little content as you want. I'm generating about 2,000 words on these. Okay. Now here we get to our interlinking, our last post and our next article. Remember, we're spinning that, so it could have just as easily been some, some other stuff. 3 interlinks to other pages. Okay. And this one comes with cute kitties. I didn't do that. Now, remember, you're the only one that's ever going to see this. Okay? Google's going to read it. Google's going to love it. It also generates a couple of categories for us anyway, which is cool. It's just more links. Internal linkage is a good thing. And then up here, because we chose silo structure, it takes us back to the home page. Now, there's your index page. It's essentially it's just an index to the other pages.
So every time this page gets indexed, it's indexing at least.
It's indexing the links. It's indexing the links to every other page on the site. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. So I'm pretty happy with this one. Okay. I'm going to deploy it. Okay. Well, wait a minute. Here's something we did. We got the same image twice. Remember we were wondering if that would happen. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go back and take that out because I don't want to duplicate the same image. Okay.
So the power of potential power, and Nevin, you can kind of pop on with this as well, is that as we're creating the content, there's no reason why we cannot put, anchor texts in our articles that are going to point to someplace else, because every time that this article gets created based on the pages that we're using, we can use it for more power and more authority, because Google's going to read it, going to spider it, and potentially index it, and index everything that goes along with it. Is that correct?
Yes, that's basically correct.
Okay, great. So don't be short on what you put in.
Okay, we're going to go back to the project now. And we're going to, all we're going to do right now is we're going to correct this second iteration of our images because we don't want to duplicate the image. Okay. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to break up some of this text a little more just because those paragraphs look huge to me. No, it doesn't really matter. I mean, because all we want is for Google to read it. Yeah, we just want Google to read it and go and run with it. So we made that change. We're going to put our redirect in, and let's use a different one here. Don't use. Okay, so I'm going to give you this file, but and if you would like to use this link, feel free. But I would suggest you make your own.
Okay, now this is an interesting question. Okay,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like two parts, and it's from Ivan. So review again. These
Ivan?
pages,
Ivan. Okay, sure. Ivan.
Ivan, these pages are for Google Eyes only.
Yes.
Does it just pass juice to our money site, not actual public visitors?
Okay, you're going to see what happens here in a minute. Okay.
Okay, answer the question.
The answer to the question is nobody's ever going to see these pages starting like right now. Okay,
Right.
except the search engines. And we're going to demonstrate what actually happens. Okay.
So here's the second part of his question, and
Okay.
we're gonna answer this visually. What is the CTA on this webinar? I think I've seen enough. No, we haven't seen enough yet, Ivan. Just
No, really, Ivan, you haven't seen it.
okay. But the part of the question is, what's the CT? What's the click through offer? What's the offer on this page? How do they see it? And that's what you're going to show right now.
That's what I'm going to show you right now.
Yes.
That's what you're going to see right now. Okay. Because this time I'm going to deploy this thing into production. Now, it's telling me that my output file is not empty and it's going to overwrite the stuff that's there. It's because I already put the other stuff in there. So, but that's okay with me. So we're going to say continue. Now we're going to add the project, except this time we're going to select Amazon S3. Now, there's a whole bunch of other places that you can upload to, and Nevin goes over that much better than I can here. So we click next, and it's going to go and make sure that we've got a doable thing. It knows that we're going to be able to upload. It's got my access and my secret key. And if you want to use those, go ahead. I'll just make sure that whatever you do redirects to me. But the bucket name, this is your domain name again. Okay. Remember what we call the project? GPS stuffed toy animals. So we're going to make this, and it has to be lowercase. Okay. And it also can't have any spaces. So we're going to make it GPS stuffed toy animals. Okay. That's going to be the subdomain. So this is going to be GPS stuffed toy animals.s3.amazonaws.com. That's going to be the ultimate domain name. Think of this as the domain name that you would want to buy if you were actually building a site on a domain you owned. Okay. I'm going to add it.
So why not use your own hosting then?
Because your hosting probably doesn't have a domain authority of 97.
Exactly.
And it probably costs you more money than it will at AWS. Okay.
Which is almost free.
Which is almost free. I think it'll be a while before anybody starts getting bills, and by that time you'll be making so much money, you'll be glad to give some of it to Amazon.
Well, the other thing is that your hosting is probably a shared hosting, and you're not going to really be able to build, hundreds of thousands of these sites on your hosting. These pages.
Let me.
And you are a hosting person, so address that for everybody.
I will. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and start this. Mm-hmm. And we've only got a few pages, but you're going to see just how it's uploading now. It already generated the content. Now it's actually uploading to Amazon. And there it is. That's the whole thing right there. Now, before we go any further, I'm going to go ahead and complete what we're doing here. I'm going to save these URLs. And I'm just going to put them up on the desktop all by their lonesome, and they're going to be GPS toy URLs. Okay, and we'll go over to those in a minute. Now, from here, if you're going to use the internal indexer, which is LSI, then you would go ahead and do some indexing, and you also have choices here of what you want to index. And the reason that it says, we're going to go over this, and actually I'm going to have Nevin, I'm really glad you're on the call. I'm having Nevin answer a couple of questions about some of these URLs, but where I'm not going to address the indexing at this point. Okay. So we're done. We just created that on S3, and I'll go and show it to you on my S3. Oh, that's another little that's another little goodie on what? Hello. What the heck's the matter with you? Did I click the wrong button? Oh yeah, okay. I did. My bad. Anyway, so let's see, GPS stuffed toys. There it is right there. And over here, there's the bucket. It uploads its necessary support documents and folders, and these are all of the pages that were created. Now, Ivan, watch this. You saw the dummy or the web pages that we created, and they look pretty good. Yeah, I would show them to my mother. But when somebody asks for one of these websites, this is what happens. Oh, that's not it. Sorry, I clicked the wrong thing. Don't
Just made me talk.
Woohoo! Okay, and so this is what happens when they click on one of the links from a search engine. They don't actually ever see that web page that we created. They go right to your money page. Okay?
See that?
Everybody see that?
Right? It's an overlay?
No.
No.
It's
Not at all.
It's a redirect.
Redirect, right.
So, here's what happens for what we just did. I've got a 3-year-old and I'm looking for a stuffed toy for Christmas for my 3-year-old. And I do a search in Google and this thing comes up and says, let's see, what was our keyword that we just clicked on? Our keyword was GPS tracker for kids, Android. Okay, if they type in anything that triggers a search that shows my web page as a result with the metadata that we had. Remember we showed you the metadata that we put in there? Now, I can't. We'd have to create another dummy. But anyway, what happens is this is going to show up in a long tail search on Google or Bing or wherever it's indexed. And when they click on the search result, okay, I'm clicking on the search result. Pretend with me. I clicked on the search result. Oh yeah, I'm interested in that. That's what I was looking for. And they don't see that web page. They see the money page where they can buy the stuffed animal. Okay? Does everybody get it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I want to say it again. Nobody but you is ever going to see what you just created. And the search engines. They're going to index it. They're going to consume that content. And since we used a whole bunch of random sentences, okay, that are going to be keyword rich for a whole lot more than the title of this document, they're going to find it in the search results. They're going to click on the link,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to come to your money page. That's how it works.
So this is a question for Nevin.
Okay.
Okay. So Nevin, I know that you're aware that in February, Google is going to make changes in how it treats redirects, 301s, and so forth. There's a publication on that right now. How are we going to handle the redirect, announcement that Google made?
Well, to answer that question, they would already know for our redirect CD if we show them that that's why this is Cloaker. That's the redirect cloak from Google, from the old Google IPs, and from the Google IPs in general.
So the way that we're doing this is not going to necessarily be affected by that new process that they're going to be utilizing within their Chrome reader.
Redirect is something that you won't find anywhere else than inside of Outdoor Stacks. The reason for that, because it's totally coded from the scratch, and it's not classic 307 or 301 redirect. It's totally different redirect.
Okay. So we're addressing the issue. That's what we're saying. Yeah, we're addressing the issue. We know it's coming, and you know it's going to be addressed, and it's going to be in the software. Is what you're saying, correct?
Correct. And this is the only software that will allows you to redirect from the HTML postings. So this is the HTML redirect.
Right.
Let me add just a little something to that. And this is in addition to, first of all, Nevin, I want to tell you, I am very impressed with the way you're doing the redirect. And the reason that I'm very impressed with it is I can't find it. Okay. So I've been doing redirects for a long time. I can't find it. So I don't know where the code is or how it does it. And I imagine that Nevin has done a wonderful job of hiding it from not just me. I couldn't be happier.
That's why this is totally different than all the rest of the similar type of products that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a very high level coding. You know, it's not like a WordPress plugin like SERP Shaker and Workhorse and all the other shit that's out there that, you know, we all know about. This is, you know, this takes it to a much different level. One of the questions, and I've asked Terry to be a panelist here. So Terry, is your microphone working?
Can I get a coffee, grab a coffee real quick before we continue?
Yep, this is a pee break for you.
Okay. This is a segment of refreshment.
So Terry, you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can't hear you, Terry. Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Okay. Hey,
I had muted myself. I'm sorry.
The reason that I asked Terry on here, and it's in relationship to what Bryant had mentioned earlier, and Nevin has added a number of different places, you know, where we can store the HTMLs, the S3s, and so forth. So just while Brian is taking a break here, Terry, you know, why don't you share with everybody, you know, really, you know, high level 50,000 foot view of on the webinar, the three places that we're using for, you know, within the ranking factory that we're using for getting our sites indexed, where we're getting authority for them, and how you see that would work within stacks here, well, MOFO, in terms of, you know, the basic files that we're creating, you know, and the authority that we might be able to get to those basic files within the redirect. So this is, I don't know that Nevin's even seen or heard about what you guys have come up with within Ranking Factory, but it is MOFO brilliant. So just give everybody a little sneak peek at some of the things that we're going to be utilizing that you guys have created in terms of giving this way more power.
All right. As you saw on his desktop, Bryant now has a GPS Toys URLs list, a list of URLs that this site consists of each of the pages. Each of those is an HTML file. We can take those as a group. And the simplest way, you can put them all in a Google Doc if you wanted, something like that. Download it as a website, so you've got an HTML file. You can upload that to the Google Cloud. Google Cloud has a great domain authority because Google likes it. We take that and then we spin it a little and create an HTML file leading to that each of those HTML files, and upload that to Microsoft's Azure cloud service. So that the Microsoft HTML files are linking to the Google Cloud files. We then take the Microsoft Azure one, create links to it that we'll upload to the Amazon web services. So our Amazon links, our Amazon files are linking to our Microsoft Azure files that are linking to our Google Cloud files that are linking back to each of these pages of this website just created by this MOFO traffic, whatever it's going to be.
Okay.
So
Can we get back
so
to
that
this?
just passes around through the various cloud services.
So
Microsoft Azure says, "Oh, let's use this on Bing," because they see the product. So you get juice from Microsoft, from Amazon, and from Google.
right.
Thank you, Terry.
So
Can we get back to this,
thanks
please?
a lot. Well, I didn't know that you were back from your coffee break. So
That's okay. I don't want to. I didn't necessarily want to miss what Terry has to say, and I did because I was getting coffee.
thanks, Terry. Yeah, just
Uh-huh.
that's something that Terry and another couple people within the ranking factory came up with just out of a discussion, and so it's going to bring a lot of strength and power to what we're doing here. So back to you.
Okay. This is a question for Nevin, and that is, we all see that these are all of our base documents that we generated. Okay. But if you notice, there's another folder up here, and it's just called 1. And this one has another bunch of documents. Okay. These are different documents.
Basically, those are the tags.
It's a tags document. Okay. So
Yes.
what that means is we got duplicates, it looks like, of all of those documents just for tags. So we actually generated twice as many HTML documents as we thought we did. Is that correct, Nevin?
Correct.
Okay. Now, Nevin, one more step, and this is something that I experienced with the first build that I did. I tend to go over the top in a lot of cases. And what I did, Nevin, is I gave the program 78,000 keywords. Okay, and I ran a project exactly like we all just ran this one together. I didn't get just 78,000 HTML documents. I got 290,000 URLs from that run, Nevin, and there are 4 different actually there's a whole lot more than that. These look like all, what are they? Well, these are all more documents. Can you explain this, Nevin, please? I mean, this is extremely exciting, but I don't understand how it got created. Just because I gave it a bigger file, it doesn't get created every time. Is there something that you can?
The way you set up the tags to that, go tags multiplying the keywords
Okay.
and the files.
Okay. So we'll leave it to everybody experimenting with then.
So you actually kind of tend to need to be somewhat conservative with the tags then, and because it's going to each tag is going to multiply the keywords, and so if you have 10 tags, it's going to take the keywords and multiply it times 10 times. Is that what you're saying, Evan?
Yes, if you have spin 10 different words and plus shortcode.
Okay.
Like an example, we did the build.
Okay, I understand now, because on that particular project that generated so many, it did have a lot more tags as well. Cool, that's very nice. It also generated just for those that are really geeky, that particular project generated 59 XML documents. Actually, it was a total of 60, and one of them was an XML document that linked to the other 59 XML documents. which is very
That's
nice.
the way how we sort the URLs uploading to the Amazon.
Okay, yeah, that was it was an exciting thing to find all those XML files that I could submit for indexing. Anyway, I wanted to pass that one along. Okay, who wants to do some geolocation?
Okay, 1 second. While we're on here, this is a question from Nevin from Cary.
Okay.
The ranking search engine result seems to show my tags. I expected that to show my meta content. Which should I see in the SERPs? Nevin, did you hear me?
Can you repeat that question, please? Can you repeat that, please?
Sure. The ranking search engine results seems to show my tags. I expected that to show the meta content. Which should I see in the SERPs?
Well, that's being sorted by the Google indexing and how it pick up the stuff. So sometimes it just reads the content from the pages, and sometimes shows the meta content. Depends. But in time, it will show the meta content. That's not up to us. It's up to how the Google picking while indexing.
Okay, cool, thanks.
But that being said, there will be a chance that both of those results will be in the search engines, and people may see one or the other. So it's a good thing.
Prove that Google reads behind that redirect. Totally read the site.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay, thank you. Oh, here we go. I think on the geo, where you're going right now, can we target a radius around a location that would include surrounding cities, states, and towns?
You can do that by collecting that information yourself. Yes, there's not a radius setting in this software. No. But you can, there's different softwares you can use to get neighborhoods, zip codes, and city names within a radius of any point, actually. So you would have to collect the names of those locations, okay? For example, neighborhoods or and other little towns. Like if you're doing Phoenix and you did a radius of 50 miles, you get Scottsdale, you'd get Tempe, you'd get, Glendale, you get the surrounding suburbs as well if you did a radius of it. And then you would target those individual neighborhood names. Google knows neighborhoods. So that's not a bad thing to do if you're really wanting to get targeted in real tight. So anybody want to run a geo with this one?
Run it, baby. Run it.
Okay, what state do we want to do? We'll do a state.
What's a small state? Florida's too big.
Why not do a big one?
Run. Right, do Florida.
Okay.
Mark was the first one to put a state in there, Florida.
Okay. So we go into job, the folder that we unzipped, and we're going to go down here to Florida.
Oh, you mean this is already done for us?
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh, we got to charge more for that.
Well, I told you this needs to be like $795 a month already, didn't I?
Gone. This is way too cool.
Okay. It's going to have to be more than that, I guess, huh? Okay. So our input folder. Okay, what I've done is I've just jumped over here and opened up the job folder and gone to Florida. And our input folders are GPS toys, remember? Okay, so we're going to take city out of Florida, and we're going to, I'll go ahead and move it, I don't care. City, state, and zip. Okay? So, now we're going to do, what are these things called again? I forget. City, state, and zip, aren't they? Yeah, city, state, zip. That's easy. Oops, sorry about that, guys. Okay, so here we're going to do city, bracket, curly bracket. Okay, city, text, curly, space, curly, state, text, Close it. And zip. And close it. Now, not Zio, Zippo. So we're going to have our keyword, oh, let's say in. How about that? Or let's get weird and see what it does if we do in, and then we'll spin around, and then we'll spin close to,
And near.
and we'll do near to make Patrick happy. You're welcome. Okay, so that's all pure shortcodes and spin tags. Anybody have any questions about what I just did?
No, sir.
Okay. So, just so we see what we have done, we're not going to make any other changes to the project whatsoever, just now, okay? Let's deploy it locally so we see what we got. And it's going to wipe out what's there, but I don't care at this point. And select the project, select our dummy upload, excuse me, and run it. I should tell you guys, I'm running on a big honking VPS here. But it's one of mine. If you want one, you can get one. And
That was a blatant commercial there. That's really unacceptable.
I can't do that? Okay. Gee, sorry.
Of course you can do that.
Okay. Oh, good. Well, geez, I'm just getting started then. I'll get my Billy Dar on.
Exactly.
Oh, this looks like a problem to me, guys. I did something wrong.
You have to use the curly brackets instead.
I messed up with the brackets, didn't I? Uh-oh.
You use regular brackets instead of curly.
I'm sure. Yeah, I did it there. All you have to do is
But
miss
it's really
one.
nice that it tells you. I mean, it's awesome that it tells you. You can look at it and see, hey, you screwed up. So
Yeah.
it's a simple fix.
But okay, now here's a point to make. All right. I'd have been so mad if that's what I had ended up uploading to S3 and put it into production. Didn't realize I'd made that mistake. Okay.
You open the input folder.
Yeah. I ran it locally so I could look at it and see what I did, and I made a mistake. So I found a mistake
open the input folder.
Pardon?
Just to check something more. Open the input folder.
Oh, okay. Is it? What did you want to see?
Okay. Yeah, everything's fine.
Okay. So I don't have any other typos in there now. But just to make the point again, I if I hadn't run a local test of it to see what I did and see my results, I could have uploaded that someplace where I really didn't want a broken website.
You may leave. Okay.
I'll leave it at that. Okay, so we just reproduced it. And this time, that looks but Plant City, Florida, 36353. 33563. Okay. Not bad. Take a quick look. Yep, there it is. Plant City, Florida. I didn't change this stuff. This is still just got the keywords in it. Okay. We can change it so all of these also have that exact same string as the title if you want. Okay. Just by using that spin tax again in the HTML editor. So this looks fine. Okay, and there's a chickpea and holiday and Hialeah. So that's one way to do it. Now, the thing was, when you do this, is you don't necessarily get one for every keyword. Okay. In fact, let's take I'd like to get some kind of a number on this. How many we actually created? Oh, okay. One thing is it added it to this folder. So we're going to clean it up and run it again. All I did was take that project folder out of my output folder, guys. So let's do it again. That looks better. So we got one for every one of them. But each one of our, okay, now let's go to the conversation that was talked about yesterday. And that is that somebody wanted to be able to produce a page for every keyword for each of those city, state, and zips. Okay. I would do that with a mashup myself. Okay. And to do it, I would just load my keywords into an Excel file in the column that I wanted the keyword in, and then in another column I would load the city. Third column would be the state, and the fourth column would be zips. Okay. Then I would copy that entire block of text out of the zip code, out of the Excel file, put it in a text file, and then go back and change the city and the zip, or city, state, and zip, depending on what all you're doing, and build 100. In this case, I've got 122 keywords for this project, so I would have 122 keywords for in a text file for Satellite Beach, Florida, 32937. So I'd have 122 of those with different keywords in front of the city, state, and zip, and I would just replicate that for all 122 keywords. You can go as big as you want. Okay. I told you I just built a project with 72,000 keywords, and that's exactly how I did that. All I did was I took the keywords and stuffed them into a text file to use as a shortcode, just like we did on the first run here before we added city, state, and zip. Okay. So that's how you would do that if you wanted to simplify it. You also, that way you can control how big. I think I'm going to stick with around 25,000 as a max size on these websites, just because I've seen bigger sites than that take a long time to index.
Carrie's answer to that question, Bryant, was I understand, but that kills the possibility of using other geodata because there's no match to other files.
What other geodata would?
I don't know. I'm just reading what he said.
Well, you can add another column if you want.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
we'll get in and address that probably on a specific, simple video. How to do that.
Okay. This is where your oh, I know what I wanted to show you though, just so you can see it for yourselves, and that is the metadata that we did. Okay. Here's our metadata. That's what's going to show up. Is that easier to read with the blue background for you guys or not?
No, we can't. Once it's highlighted, we can't see it.
Okay. So basically, all that meta description says, your search for the information on best GPS tracker for kids, consumer reports. Visit us for everything you need to find out. Help now. So do your meta the way that you would like it to look in the search results. Okay. This is sort of ham-fisted here, what I've got going on. It can be done better. So if you remember, there's some spin tags here for meta. This is it. And of course, I'll give you guys anybody that wants it can have this. I don't need my drug rehab stuff.
Yeah, we'll just make a file, a template file for everybody to use.
Everything there is pretty much okay. Even the video if you want to use it. But before I forget,
So, Bryant, we'll just give everybody a copy. Can everybody hear me?
Okay. I guess at this point we can just have a discussion unless somebody wants me to demonstrate something else that I may or may not know how to do. The idea behind this webinar or whatever you want to call it, a class, a demo, was just to show step by step how you can actually get a project put together in the easiest possible way. And I hope I've showed that today. But I'm ready for questions or whatever we want to do from here on out.
So the redirect carries through your affiliate number without worrying about cloaking.
Am I here by myself now? Hello?
No, you're okay.
Did I get muted?
I'm muted. You're good. I think I'm muted. You're good. Hello?
We can hear you just fine, Bryant. I don't know what you're hearing, but we can all hear you.
Yeah, Bryant, you're fine. Everybody can hear you. Hello, Bryant. Bryant, where did you go? You guys can hear me, right?
Can hear you fine.
Okay.
I think he thought he was muted, so then he muted himself.
Yeah. Let me see.
Am I muted now?
We can hear you now.
Okay, I was. This thing's got a button that gets stuck between the arm of my chair sometimes and pushes itself. Okay.
Cool.
My question was, do we want to? Is there anything else people would like to see happen right now with these projects I got up? Are there more questions or?
Yes, they'd like to see you go over the schema section.
Okay. Well, that's what I've got up here right now. So for the schema section, I'm doing actually this one was a professional service. So let's do a, we're a store. We're not an auto parts store. We're we're a toy store, aren't we? Looky there. We got toy store. Okay, so our name is GPS Toys. That's easy. And we want to say we're GPS Toys in. We're GPS Toys in city. We're GPS Toys in state. And we're GPS Toys in a zip code too. How about that? Okay, now what you notice there is that when you've got the icon, you can click it. It'll open up your input folder, and you can pick a file to use as a short code. Okay, we picked all three: city, state, and zip. So GPS Toys, city, state, and zip. You can put in a URL if you want. I'm not going to do that. I don't want that footprint. I don't want a footprint on it.
Does that create a footprint?
If I put a URL in here, then yes, it tells Google where this thing's redirecting to if it can't figure it out for itself. Okay. Now, if you know what your S3 URL is going to be, maybe you want to use that.
Yep.
Maybe. Okay.
Evan, do you have any comment on that?
As I told myself before, like I'm not using the schema, and just because of footprint, but all that data that can leave the footprint, I would avoid.
Okay.
And for the footprint, you sometimes need to think in the future, not just now.
Right.
Exactly. I have to agree with that. Always
Okay.
be thinking about what Google might do. Okay, so I've just replicated the name of this toy store in the description, but we'll add a little bit. We have everything. Okay, and then the address. We're going to use city, state, and zip again. And for city, we're going to use city. And again, we'll just pop over here and grab our short code city. And state, we'll do the same. Zip code, of course, we'll do the same. We're not going to do latitude and longitude. Business hours, we'll do 24 hours. 24. We'll just do open around the clock. We're not going to give them a telephone number or a contact. So that pretty much is it. And depending on your selection up here of what type of schema you're doing, these answers can be a little different. Yeah,
They will.
they can change. That's really all there is to it. What we'll do is we'll do a deploy so you can see what it looks like real quick. Let's see. Let's get rid of this. We're going to do a new one.
I think any generic schema is going to help. It's going to help Google identify what the site's about, what the business is about.
Yeah, this inserts a JSON schema up in the header. And you can see it right here. So there's your schema. Safety Harbor, Florida, and Safety Harbor, Florida. So it matches up across the board with each one of those input files in sequence. So you have to make sure if you have a city with 13 zip codes in the city, like say Los Angeles, then you would have each zip code listed, and then the city would be listed 13 times as well, since you had 13 zip codes within that city. That's the only trick if you want to build your own files with city, state, and zip information, instead of using the ones that Nevin has given us. Up to you.
Okay, question from Scott. On S3, do you first delete the bucket on S3, then run? In other words, if you're going to make the changes here, and you've already created an S3 bucket, do you delete it and create another one, or do you just add it to the same bucket?
It's going to create a bucket every time you do an upload. If you do a deploy to S3, it's going to create a new bucket. So your bucket's going to have to be unique. You can't add to an existing bucket. But what I'm doing is I'm keeping it local, and I'm not redirecting, so that we can look at the web pages and the source code so we can see how it's building the pages. What we've just been doing. So I build local to make sure that the data that I'm actually going to upload is going to be exactly what I want. And you've seen a couple of mistakes that I've made already, so that proves my point right there, I think.
Exactly.
And excuse me for just sounding silly. I tend to do that. I only have one person in my life, and that's my wife, and she knows I'm silly. Anyway,
you talk to me every day, so I'm not a person of interest, I guess. Okay, fine, thanks.
We're not intimate, my friend.
No, okay. Hey,
yet
another quick question. So, if I want to use my keyword toys in all zips, I need, like for US, 47,000 zips. Then I have to run 100K times to cover my keyword. I mean, like, that's every state. No. That's the question.
No. Okay. You do not have to do that. The way that you would do that is you would not use, okay? You would not use this input keyword file. All right? You would put your keywords here. And then it would use every iteration of city, state, and zip, or every iteration of zip for one keyword. All right? So if you wanted to do 10 keywords, I would run 10 separate projects with each keyword with all 46,000 zips.
Okay.
You can also do that with cities. There's 29,000 cities in this country as well. Now you want to really want to mess your mind up and get a product that's international and start figuring that one out.
Stop it.
Hey, Bryant, I want to add up one thing more. Like the way Stacks is designed to do shortcodes is if you have one shortcode file that is like having 50 lines and the other one has like 40,000 lines, the shortened one will repeat after they reach the end. That's the way how it's going.
So you would have
until they reach the longest one. Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. That's kind of what I suspected from what I've seen. So if this keyword file had 4 keywords in it, this one, and this zip code file had 40,000 zip codes in it, you'd get 40,000 pages, but you would get 4 of them
for 160,000 pages.
Is that correct, Nevin? If you had 4 of them, or do you still only get 46?
You will have the 40 as the longest short code have the lines. That will be the number of the pages.
Okay, so you would get 46,000 zip code pages with a variety of 4 varieties of keyword. You wouldn't get 120,000 or 160,000. You still only get 40,000, but they would be spread amongst 4 different keywords.
Yes, that's
okay. So you have
it takes the shortest. It takes the shortest short code and a repeat from the beginning until the longest one is reached the end.
Okay, so that's okay. That clarifies that. That's good to know. So did everybody understand what he and I just said?
Give us a yes if you got it. Steve says no. Yes.
Okay.
Half.
Let me see.
No.
Let me see if I can do it. Make it easier for you to understand. You've got a zip code file with 40,000 zip codes in it. You have a keyword file with 2 keywords. You have stuffed toys and you have GPS toys. Okay. The first one is going to be zip code 00001 stuffed toys. The second one is going to be zip code 0002 GPS toy. 3 is going to be zip code 00003 GPS toy, and then stuffed toy, and then GPS toy, and then stuffed toy, and then GPS toy. So each of those 2 keywords repeats, and just takes the next zip code. So zip code 0001 will have one page with one keyword. Okay. Now, did that make it clear?
Is that correct, Nevin?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay. So in essence, if you want each of those keywords to have all 47,000 zip codes, you have to do each one of those keywords separately so that you have all 47,000 zip codes for each keyword.
Correct.
Very simple.
It is also an excellent strategy. And I'll tell you why. Because if you do that, you can focus only on the highest buyer intent keywords. You're not going for long tails. You're making the entire title long tail keyword. Okay? Because Google will imply your location. So if you type in GPS stuffed toy, Google knows you're in zip code 90210. So if there is a web page that says GPS stuffed toy 90210, you're liable to be shown, all other things being equal, without
Right.
without the person searching having to type in the zip code. Okay? And if you add city and state to that as well, which you can do, it gets pretty messy. But there are 29,000 cities in this country, and among them, between them, they all have the 46,000
zip codes and boroughs and towns and all kinds of different, variations of UPS connections. So
yeah. So anyway,
it's
there's
right around 50,000.
A really strong strategy, okay, for using this tool would be to use every city, state, and zip code and use every buyer intent, 3 to 4 words, buyer intent keywords, okay? Where can I find GPS toys? How do I buy GPS toys? Who sells GPS toys? You get me? And you do a 29,000 page site for every city name for each one of those, and you do a 46,000 page site for each one of those buyer intent keywords, and you end up with what, 300,000, 500,000 web pages out there using the top keywords for each geographic location. You can build that in a day, people. That's how strong this thing is.
So we really don't need a million keywords, is what you're saying.
No, but that's a different strategy. Remember, I had 72,000 long tail keywords for one niche.
Right.
And I built it. 300,000 pages is what it generated because of the way I had it set up.
Well, I think there's the answer to the question here, guys, is that as you play with this, you're going to find different ways that are going to make more sense to you, and there are many, many, many recipes. There's as many recipes as ways to make this make sense. So there's no specifically classified right way. It's think about what your keyword is, think about your target market, think about how you want to penetrate that market, the combinations of how you're going to do it, utilize the training that we've given you here today to do that with, and just start playing with it and share back with the group what your results are, what you're finding that is working well, that's not working well, that's giving you issues and giving you problems, and we will address that. The purpose of today was to clarify a lot of the questions that we saw come in after the last webinar, the initial webinar that we did with Nevin, just to give you, the essence of how powerful this product is. So Bryant went ahead and did a complete campaign from A to Z, took the time to do that, come back here and share with us, what he has found and some of the mistakes that he felt that he made that might have been, making it a little bit easier for us to handle in terms of understanding. Does that all make sense? And hopefully you heard me.
I can hear you, but you're fading again.
Okay. By the way, this isn't John, it's Patrick. So go ahead and repeat what I just said then, Bryant.
Let's see. I'll see if I can't just distill it down. What I would suggest you do is take action and experiment. I'm going to post the stuff for that template, and let's get back to the affiliate program. I am really serious about the affiliate program. If anybody wants to join it, it's on ShareASale. It pays about 15% commission on every sale. The toys cost between $129 and $299, depending on what package they choose. We expect that a lot of people are going to buy more than one for this Christmas. Now's the time. So I'm going to put the information in there. If any of you guys are familiar with what I did for another group that we won't mention here, with a done for you GPS tracking campaign, it's the same ShareASale. It's the same GPS tracker, the device, but now it's in a toy. If you join us on if you join up with the affiliate program on ShareASale, then you'll have access to the toys and also the base tracker as a standalone device. And another product that's there that's a difficult sale. It's another GPS product. I'll leave for you to take a look at it. It's a very narrow market. The hot market right now, in my mind, and I'm getting ready to go, gangbusters with this GPS toy. In fact, I've got an ad starting on Facebook this morning using that same video that's there, and you'll have access to that video if you want to use it as well. And I wouldn't have any problems if you want to clone it or make some changes to it, or add some intros or outros or anything you want to do. So that information will be a little later. Will be in the group. If there's anybody on the call that's not in the group, contact me through Skype, or however you want, and I'll get the information to you. So that's the surprise that I mentioned. Any questions before I get back to work and quit playing with you guys? It's been fun, but I need to work.
Oh, templates for
Yeah.
the test group.
They're in there. They were in there. Nevin put them in there a couple days ago.
Oh, okay.
So just scroll up. There are a couple of downloads.
What is your Skype?
Code Amber, CODEAMBER.
And one more thing, Bryant, before you leave, if I
Yes.
can ask.
Yes.
I need your help. Like, can you open the HTML editor, please, for us? I just want to like integrate tools, what you all can do with this software. And it's great examples because you are using the randomize. And do you know how to randomize number of the sentences in paragraphs? Right now with your setup, you can use the spin tags.
Oh, you can use the nesting, right? You can actually spin
the short, yes, and the number of the short code.
Yeah, so you would do it like this.
Yes.
So that's a nested spin, ladies and gents.
And you can put the empty brackets on the end, so sometimes you will have sentences in paragraph, sometimes you will have 5 sentences, and things like that. You can play it.
Yeah, that actually was the other trick I was going to tell you guys. If you want to occasionally not have something inserted when you're spinning text, just add a naked bar. Okay. So you may add a naked bar, which makes the first iteration, or okay. Let's make it easier to read here. I know. Yeah, I see where you're going. It's actually a really great idea, Nevin. You've got this would be the first selection. This would be the second selection of sentences. And then this would be a blank selection of sentences. Nothing here to see. Okay. So the one time going through would generate these sentences. The next time it might generate these sentences, or it might generate nothing. So that's a nested spin. Okay. 2 curly brackets to open, 2 curly brackets to close.
And I think that's the answer to the question, like a special, like mass builder, and finding the software who can write content like this. And find the content software that can spin everything, every single thing. And one thing I need to share with you all, on this webinar, we covered like 10% of what outdoor these tags can do in the meaning of spinning the content, spinning the template, spinning the everything.
Yeah, Nevin, you kind of broke up, so let me repeat what you just said in case it wasn't clear to people. What you've seen here this morning is 10% maybe of what this software can do in terms of generating articles and spinning content. And it's up to you to find all the features in here, because I don't know how in the world you could possibly put together a comprehensive training that would explain each and every feature and how to use it and how to combine them. Because when you start combining the features together is when it gets really, really strong. So yeah, keep that in mind.
This is made for my personal use in Intense, and then become the software for public. And it's open for the open-minded people, for the people who are out of the box, who are thinking out of the box. So look on this software like it can do everything you imagine. It's just on you to find a way, like using the different shortcodes, different version of the shortcode, spinning of everything, inserting the things. And we didn't even cover up extra fields in the markup. That's something really, really advanced, and I think that will be the level pro.
Yeah, I didn't click on any of the advanced options in any of this stuff.
Okay.
So,
can you redirect a specific page URL? Hang on a minute, I lost it.
no.
Can you redirect
in the redirect in advance, you can choose to differently like redirect homepage from the category, from the tag, from the post.
Okay, yeah, you can see the level of redirect control you've got here. I've got the advanced box open, so you can redirect to a different URL with your categories. You can redirect your tags to a different URL, and you can redirect posts to a different URL. And the index page is the default, and it will override, or it will redirect all of these to this URL unless you specify something in one of these 3 boxes for a different URL. But individual pages, I think the question was individual pages? No. I'm not sure why you would want to. If you need to redirect to specific pages, you can just build a separate campaign for that page. Or to that page, I should say. Or videos. I mean, you can listen. I'm driving traffic directly to the offers. I'm not using landing pages on most of what I'm going to be doing. I don't see any reason to do a landing page unless you want to try to collect email addresses, which ain't a bad idea with this. I mean, you should be able to build one monster list fast using this. I mean, people, this is a traffic. I'll call it a fire hose. I'm not going to call it a funnel. This is a traffic fire hose. I mean, you get good content up there with good keyword research, buyer intent keywords. You're going to make some money, and you're going to make some money fast, because this stuff's going to index quickly based on where it is. And if once Terry gets in here and starts showing you guys what he's doing, with some of the other high authority, linking techniques that he's got. There's no stopping you. If you take action, if you get in there and play with it and try it and get it to work the way you want it to, you do good keyword research, and the missing ingredient always is, how good does your offer convert? If you got a shitty offer, you're going to be spinning your wheels. If you got an offer that converts good, you're going to be real happy with what you got here.
Can you hear me okay?
I can, yeah.
Okay. So, Bryant, why don't you briefly, for some of the people that did not see the original webinar, share with everybody what we're doing with this and what Nevin has been doing successfully with pay-per-call.
Alrighty, I will do that. I have no problem showing you guys this, simply because it's extremely difficult just to get a pay-per-call offer in rehab, and that's what I'm doing. I built. I'm bringing up a different machine here that, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see right now. I built a campaign yesterday for 26,000 pages for rehab, drug rehab specifically. And what I'm doing is, I'm driving. I'll show you where it's going. I'm driving the traffic to this website. And I'm going to log into it real quick because I want to show you one of the pages that only gets shown to people on a phone.
Okay, while you're doing that, let me just kind of share with some of the newer people that are here, as opposed to just a test group. What I did is I wanted to share this out for others to come to see what we're doing, to get a feel for what we're doing, and give them an opportunity to buy in at a discounted price if they signed up and registered for this webinar. Whether they came or not doesn't matter. So we're given an early bird kind of preview look at what we're doing. And there are many, many people here today that were not on the first webinar, and they're not part of the test group. So just want to clarify that in some of the questions that you're seeing flying back and forth. And that's why they're asking for prices, and it's not for sale yet. It will be for sale, in about 30 days. And everybody here will get a special discount because you were here today and registered for it today. If you want to buy in early, contact me directly at 443-807-8383, which is my phone number. However, that wasn't the intent today, but for those that are interested, you can contact me and we can discuss it. Does that make sense?
Does to me.
Did you hear me? Okay, I want to make sure that somebody heard me.
Yeah, I heard you. I heard you.
Okay. All right, great.
I'm just looking to see.
Take a look at what Brian's doing. So
there's still 30. Okay, we still got 36 people on here after 2 hours, man. I'm impressed. You guys are good. Oops. Sorry about that. That was my exit.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so the campaign that I built for drug rehab, I've had this site for a while, and it literally has been dormant, hasn't done a thing. So I built a campaign to drive traffic into this website, and the page that you're seeing now is actually this page. Oh, God, okay, quit playing with it. This page is actually this page will only be seen by people on a phone. Okay, I redirect mobile traffic to this web page, and I redirect desktop traffic to the home page, which is basically a blog with information about drug rehab and alcohol. I haven't gotten to the alcohol side of building the campaigns out yet, but let me tell you where if you anybody that's not familiar with pay-per-call, it is the most profitable and fastest growing area of lead generation out there. And as Patrick said, we've gotten into it heavily at this point. We're actually running paid advertisements on Google and Facebook and Bing and a couple of other places that shall remain nameless for people to call for services like roofing services, like legal services, like home services, maids, plumbers. There's no end to the variety out there of things that you can do. Using this system that we just demonstrated, I keep wanting to call it MOFO. We're using this MOFO. You should be able to generate a lot of pay-per-call traffic using the setup that I just showed you with this little website. It's easy to get. You can do it with Pretty Links. You have to have the pro version of Pretty Links, I think, but there's other ways to redirect your traffic, mobile versus desktop, and driving traffic to a web page that's got a click to call button on it is dynamite. I mean, there's no filling out forms, there's no sending emails, there's no nothing, to get information. They just tap the call now button, and it's going to call somebody that's going to be able to provide them with a new water heater in today, or stop the link in their basement in the middle of the night, or whatever it is that they're looking for. So that basically is what it is. If for those of you that weren't familiar with it, you should be. You need to get familiar with it because it's hot, and the conversions are unbelievable, people. I mean, we all if you're used to doing any kind of affiliate stuff, you're used to 0.5% conversion in some cases. It's still profitable to work those offers. Here's what we're seeing on pay per call. Okay, I'm going to quote some numbers, and they're real numbers. Okay, on an advertisement for a pay per call lead, we see 6 calls out of 10 clicks. And out of 10 calls, we see 80 to 90% conversion. What that means is, first of all, let me clarify what the difference between a click and a call. When you're running an ad for a pay-per-call campaign, if somebody sees it on their phone and they tap on the search result, the ad, to call, it opens up the little call box that you get on a phone when you want to call a number. And then you have to tap again to actually initiate the call. Okay? So you pay for the click, and 6 out of 10 of those clicks are going to make a call, and then 8 or 9 of those calls are going to convert, and the conversion payouts range from anywhere from $9 to over $1,000 for a call.
Stop it.
I'm not going to stop, because if you want to see one that pays $800?
Go ahead.
Look at this. Look at this.
Oh, it'd be that way.
Now I'm gonna tell you that this is a difficult one to get into. All right, Better Addiction Care. I'm dealing with the company that actually has taken the calls. You can see I just got this thing started back up. I've only got 2 calls in here. All right, but look at this. Look at these campaigns, people. Can you see that? $800 a call. $250 a call. That's for somebody that stays on for 2 minutes. That one's for somebody that stays on the call for 6 minutes. You get paid $800 for a 6-minute phone call. Would you like to be able to do some of that? I think you would. Anyway, if you're interested in some campaigns, I can't help you with this one. I'm just making a point that these calls, there's higher out there than this. Okay, that's a real number. $1,000 a call is a real number. Now, most of them are going to be, in the $20, $30 range payouts, but there's plenty of money to be made there on those too. No, I don't struggle
The
with it.
point
Thank you.
is
Go
they
away.
exist.
Point is they
They
exist, and they're extremely profitable. Okay, and we can help. We can help you along with it. That's where it's at. We don't have a program you can sign up for today and start advertising and make money right now, but uh, it's coming. And there are networks that you can go out and look into as well. They're not easy to get into. The pay-per-call, there's a lot of bad actors in the pay-per-call arena, so they're very careful about who they actually um, approve for a lot of campaigns, and different campaigns are different. I mean, it depends on the payouts uh, as to how difficult it is to get approved for the offers.
So Herb is asking, how do you just simply target phones?
Actually, Herb, you can target phones specifically with ads through AdWords, call only ads, and we do a lot of that. With the when you're dealing with the web pages, like the one that I'm showing you right now, then you have to be able to segregate the incoming click by device. So you route phones to one landing page, and you route desktop traffic. Okay, this is the phone landing page, Herb, right here that I've got for this campaign. And that's a tap to call button right there. So if somebody on a phone is looking at this page, they tap that button and it opens the call dialog box for them. Sorry,
and there's a bunch of questions about how to get involved in CPA offers or call offers, and that's something that we'll have another course on in a month or so. But right now we're still developing the whole thing and getting it and getting test results and that type of thing. But look at what the GPS tracker right there. I mean, it's just brilliant. It's just brilliant the way that this works. And the reason I got so excited about this is because this is what Nevin's been doing with Authority Stack since he built it. Is making money every day, every single day, just using this process for the pay-per-call niches. And some of the niches are paying them $45, $50, $55, $60 a day. You get $6 a call, $7 a call through some of these networks, and get 5 or 6 calls a day. Just do the math; it adds up. So that's why we were so excited about using this particular aspect of the software. There's 1,000 different ways to use it, but this is the simplest and easiest way that we know of at this moment to start making some money. As well as one of the things Brian Nevin told me the other day is that they're getting a lot of action using Authority Stacks, as I'll call it at the moment, driving traffic to first-tier PBNs and driving the traffic to those first-tier PBN sites. So
you can send the traffic anywhere. You can send it to a video.
Mm-hmm.
You can send it to a squeeze page. You can send it to an offer. You can send it to the local car wash. Hello? Wow.
Yep.
Think about that for a minute. You got friends that have little businesses around that
Mm-hmm.
You want to get them some traffic? You don't need to mess with SEO. You want traffic? We don't do SEO. We do traffic. How much you want?
Okay. Well, I think my audio's going. I think the questions are, kind of waning down. So, Bryant, why don't you ask everybody for one last opportunity in the next 3 minutes to ask a question? We'll answer those and then we'll be off.
Okay. You just did that. Last round of questions. Anything and everything except personal information. And maybe some of that if I like you.
What we've done so far. Well, what we've done so far is only within the last few days, so we don't have any statistics at the moment, but they will be coming. Shareable share sale link. Brian, you may want to put that in the chat box.
Yeah, hang on. I can put it in the chat box for you. Oh, get out. I don't want you.
David says, do you get a domain and then run the software to produce the pages to that redirect? Kind of
No,
like
you don't need a domain.
You don't, but if you want to build a page and you want to direct that traffic to your page or your business or somebody else's, page, you should have a domain. But if you want to do pay-per-call, you don't need a domain.
Be quiet over there. Okay, I'm just grabbing this link real quick. You guys might be seeing me motoring around the website here, that my client's website.
Would it be a good idea to put Google short links in pages for backlinking benefit bonus?
Repeat that?
Would it be a good idea to put Google short links in the pages for backlinking benefit bonus? Anytime you can use Google short links, yes.
Okay, that's I just put the link in for the affiliate program. You'll see it talks about GPS Smart Soul, which is actually the flagship product, but it's a difficult sale because it's targeted at people with dementia that tend to wander and get lost, so that they can be found, like Alzheimer's, autism. So it's a difficult market, but sign up through that link and we'll get you approved into the affiliate program, and you'll have access to the GPS toys and the standalone GPS tracker, and also the GPS insoles as well. If you choose to market those, you're obviously very welcome to do that. 15% commissions, and price points are anywhere from $130 to $300. So it's a generous commission, and I like to bonus people too, fast starters especially. And guess what? I'm sure that I can get a pool of money together to run for top sales, most volume, whatever, between now and the end of the year. Black Friday is next Friday. So you know what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be building GPS toy, a pump. I'm just going to call it a pump. I'm going to be building myself a GPS toy pump.
And like Bernardo was asking, statistics. Everything is based on stats. Everything's based on success. So if that's going to be our test case, and we've got 1 week to do it, then that'll be a good gauge of how quickly this can work.
One thing I will share with you guys is that 2 days ago on the 16th, I put up that 72,000 page site, and yesterday, after being up for 24 hours, and I submitted about 25,000 URLs and the 61 XML pages through an indexer that I use. Just it's a good one. I like it a lot. But after 24 hours, I had 120 of those pages were already indexed in Google. So that made me smile. I haven't checked today because it hasn't yet been 48 hours. It's less than 48 hours, but within 24 hours, I had 120 pages indexed off that site. So do they index? Oh yeah, and fast. So it's not a long-term deal to get up and running and making some money with something starting today, guys. Start building today. And if you run into things, you have questions and stuff like that, get in the group and ask the questions. Somebody will help you out.
All right. Okay. It looks like there are no more questions.
Okay.
So we will thank everybody for joining us today. I apologize for taking almost 2.5 hours of your time on a Saturday, but hopefully you think it was well worth it. We're going to launch probably within the next 30 days. So with that being said, any last words, Bryant?
Take action. I don't care what you do. I don't care how bad it looks the first time. Take action. You can't do anything wrong. You can't break anything. You can't hurt anything. So take action. That's all I got to say. If you do, you'll succeed. And if you don't, guess what? You won't succeed.
That's exactly right. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Nevin, appreciate you taking the time just to kind of sit back and keep us on track.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for keeping me in line, Nevin. I appreciate that.
And Bryant, much appreciating taking the time to go over what you've already done and to try to, make this simple for us. So, all right, with that, we'll say goodbye. Nevin, anything to say?
Well, for participating and to be here and to have trust in the stacks and software is coming from our laboratory. And thank you, Bryant, for a beautiful webinar. This is clear, very, very clear for all of us.
Thank you, Nevin.
All right.
I appreciate that.
All right, thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
All right, bye-bye, everybody.